It's time for good energy, and I'm Dr. Julie, and welcome to Bodyful Day 183. We're talking about plantar fasciitis and the senses, and today we're talking about the sense of taste. Now, I gave you a brief introduction about what I feel about the energetic reason for plantar fasciitis yesterday, but I'm just going to review. Plantar fasciitis, if you don't already know, is when the heel, not of your hand, but of your foot, when you step out of bed in the morning and the heel, when you strike, feels like somebody's stabbing a knife in there. And that usually happens because the plantar fascia, which is a long sheet of tendon that goes just underneath your skin on the bottom of your foot, is not either in the right place, or it is stretched, maybe too much, strained, who knows. But either way, when you wake up in the morning, the first few steps on your heel are rather painful, and then after that things start to feel better. Well, today we're going to talk about the sense, let me finish my thought on that. A lot of people refer to this as a physical stress injury, like you've been running too hard, or you've been working out too hard, or your shoes aren't right. But in my practice, it appears to me like it's more of a chronic stress or an adrenal fatigue issue. So stress doesn't have to be hitting the pavement really hard every day in bad shoes. It can also be having constant work deadlines that you are just barely getting by to fit, not having enough downtime, having a stressful home environment, having a stressful work environment. Any of those that bring down your energy to heal so that you are depleted, you are negative in the energy to heal realm. So energy to heal equals good energy and minus stressors. Where the stressors are so high that you're actually negative in terms of healing multiple days in a row, and your adrenals say, I can't do this anymore. And what happens is that your adrenals end up robbing the vitamin C in your body that's supposed to go towards creating strong ligaments and tendons, and you end up with plantar fasciitis because that tendon, that plantar fascia, that ligament actually at the bottom of your foot is no longer made the way it's supposed to. And so it can fray, it can get weak, it can get inflamed, and that is what causes plantar fasciitis. Now, that's my own personal take based on my office and what I see, but I also know there are a lot of other people that feel that way too. So, that's the school lesson behind plantar fasciitis. Let's dig into the sense of taste, but before we do that, let's start with the basics. Go ahead and take a deep breath in and release. Our next deep breath in, you're going to expand in the belly, expand in the chest, expand in the cranials, and then tuck your tail. Deep breath in. And release. And now think about any garbage you got going on in your life. Think about work deadlines that are stressing you. Think about parts of your body that ache. Maybe you got a knee that hurts, maybe you got an elbow that hurts, or a shoulder that hurts. You're going to take your next breath and you're going to imagine breathing either into that body part, or you're going to imagine breathing into the situation, that stressful situation. So take a deep breath in and release. Now, part of today is, I already explained it. Part of today is about the sense of taste, and we're also looking at how, today I don't want to look at how the sense of taste changes with stress, but I sort of do. In my practice, I create nutritional protocols for people to improve their good energy, or improve their energy to heal. And those nutritional protocols depend upon the day, they depend upon the person, they depend upon how they're feeling, what they've got in their house. And the one thing that I do know about those protocols is that 80% of the time,
the food protocols or herb and spice protocols that I come up with are things that people are pretty comfortable with because they're one of their favorites. About 20% of the time they're things that they've never heard of, and so they're not quite sure about the taste. And in about 2% of the time, and it's usually my tweens and my younger kids that are absolutely animate. They don't want to touch whatever it is I've given them. So I neither make judgments here or there about that, but what I have noticed is that lots of times when the protocol is right, the body loves it, and everybody that I put on the protocol, when I put the protocol on and it's right, they have no problem following it. So the reason why I bring that up is that because it seems to me to be a very reasonable assumption that your taste buds and your sense of taste is going to change based on what you need. Now, you may be saying, hey, but that's what dogs do. Dogs and cats, when they need grass, they'll go out and eat it. It's true. They know what tastes good at the time. Their taste buds, what would feel good energy in, adjusts based on how their body is feeling. And so you have the same thing that happens to you. It's just that we, remember that whole top down, bottom up, we top down it. We just say, nah, I'm gonna have, today's meal plan is chicken and rice or pizza. We already have a plan, but we don't stop to think, what would we want to eat? What does our body want to eat? But the funny thing is that a lot of times when I create protocols for patients, they pause when the energy comes up. They're like, I just bought that yesterday. Don't know why. You know, asparagus or beets or collard greens or something came up in a protocol, and they're like, I just bought that yesterday. Well, yep. That meant that you were looking at it and your body was saying, hey, that would be really good. Now, in the case of plantar fasciitis, I've already talked about this both today and yesterday, about the fact that there are two key ingredients. Well, I haven't talked about both of them. I've talked about one of them. There's one key ingredient that you need to make strong plantar fascia, or the connective tissue that's at the bottom of your feet, and that is vitamin C. And so what's interesting is that people who need vitamin C because they're stressed, remember my connection between stress and plantar fasciitis, will find that vitamin C intense foods are very, very comforting and very delicious. So I probably, before the pandemic, wouldn't be drinking this. This is just lime, half a lime squeezed in water with an ice cube. But because of the added stress of quarantine and schooling online with my kids and still trying to do my job, this tastes absolutely delicious. There's no extra sweetener in there. I haven't made limeade. It's just lime, water, and an ice cube. And sometimes I do lime tea and an ice cube, or sometimes it's just lime and warm water. It doesn't matter, but for me, my system really appreciates the vitamin C in the lime, and I could eat limes for days right now because we are under stress. And the additional, the taste of vitamin C, that acidic flavor, that kick, is very appealing when you're stressed. Sucking on a lemon when you're freaking out is not a terrible thing to think about. And it's that zing, it's that acidic, ascorbic acid from the vitamin C that you are getting out of there that actually helps calm your system, because that immediately goes in and starts working on those antioxidants. Now, for the plantar fascia, we need that vitamin C because it's a critical component in making collagen, which makes that fascia, that ligamentous material that's at the bottom of your foot. Now, the other thing when we're talking about taste, the other thing that's going to be very tasty at this point is proline. Now, proline is an amino acid. So the other thing that you might notice when you are stressed, in addition to finding citrus fruits or cauliflower or beets, other high vitamin C berries, high vitamin C foods, fruits and vegetables. The other thing that you're going to find that's going to be quite appealing when you have plantar fasciitis is going to be protein. Proline is an amino acid. It's found in protein. It's found in most animal proteins. If you are not not an omnivore, you can find proline. I believe you can find proline in quinoa. A lot of times the combination of quinoa and some form of soy is actually a really good combination to get all of your amino acids, your essential amino acids, so that you can build proper ligaments. Now, the other thing you could do is bone broth. Bone broth would have proline in it. Some people like to use collagen powders. Some people, collagen powders are kind of tacky and yucky. So I usually go with the broth first, meat first, broth second, collagen powders third if you're an omnivore. If you are vegetarian or vegan, I usually kind of shift into the quinoa and soy combinations because those are going to get you the proline that you need, and they will taste good because you are short in them because you are not making the connective tissue that you need. So, things to pay attention to when you have plantar fasciitis in order to give you good energy, and pay attention to what you think tastes good. And it is as simple as saying, would I like to suck on a lime, or suck on a lemon, or eat an orange, or have orange juice, or have a whole head of broccoli, or cauliflower, actually cauliflower is the biggest, have a whole head of cauliflower and go, yeah, that sounds absolutely amazing. That is usually your taste buds, your body sending that signal that, hey, this is what we need right now. And when you fill that slot, your body starts to calm down and you start feeling better because you are getting the building blocks you need to build better connective tissue. All right, so for all of that, remember that while you are stressed, orange juice or lime in water or lemon in water or a whole bunch of cauliflower may make you feel better, and it will actually taste wonderful to have it. All right. Come back tomorrow. We'll talk more about the senses and plantar fasciitis. Let's finish this off. Take a deep breath in and release. Have a good day.